Welcome to our library management system project. So our system simplifies library operations by combining two key components. One, a physical library manager, and two, an online library manager. So a physical one, it manages book checkouts, returns, and inventory of a physical library, whereas the online library manager provides digital access for searching, reserving, managing books, and reading books. My colleagues and I will take you through the program, the steps and the codes involved. Then we run the program for you to see how it works. Stay behind and watch. Earlier, our library manager gives you an option to select either an online library manager or a physical library manager. So the first thing this program does is it asks you for your option, which of them you prefer. So this kind of here takes your input, whether you want one is the online library or two the physical library. The switch statements here takes your answer and executes the one you choose. So in case you choose two, which is the physical library, it runs this function, which is a login. And in case you select one, which is the online library manager, it also runs this function here. So the break statement here, what is that? If you select two, this one executes, it does not repeat. And also this program gives you three attempts. If you enter a wrong value, it gives you a chance to enter it again and again. And here, this block, after you are done with everything, after the code has run, it asks you if you want to start over again or quit. So this portion takes care of that. So depending on your answer you put in, it either continues or it exits. So when you select one, it continues, but when you select two, it prints exits and then it returns 0, which means the loop, you exit the code entirely. Of two functions which will be called upon. So one of my colleagues will take you through the online library and other two will take you through the login function.
Function. This line of code declares a function which does not take in any values or print out any values, and these are integer variables which have been declared attempt to 0 and such number. What it does here is take the number of attempts the user has made, and what this one does is to store the choice that the user has made. And the while attempts is lesser than 3 is a while loop which gives the user up to 3 attempts to try. This if statement line checks if the user chose option 1 to begin with, and this here declares a character array which stores the title the user will try to look for, and this one is an integer variable which stores the index number of the user. So this break here will exit the loop if the task is complete. This if statement here will store the user option if we chose option 2, and option 2 is this. So this integer variable here stores the category, which declares the category function, the category variable. So it will store the category the user will choose. If the user chose category 1, this will be printed to him. If the user chose category 2, this will be printed to him. If the user chose category 3, this will be printed to him. If the user chose category 4, this will be printed to him. If the user chose category 5, this will be printed to him. And this break here is to break a while loop. So or else if the user choose an invalid input. This will be printed to the user. Invalid input, try again. You have this number of attempts left, and the number of maximum attempts is 3. So this here is to store the number of attempts the users made.
Void library main. It displays a menu where the library can input different types of books and take the user input and process it based on the statement. And this int input stores the user main choice, like how may I help you? Record number of books borrowed, record number of books submitted, and record number of books borrowed requests. So, and this int attempt used to limit the number of attempts used to limit the number of times a user can attempt to input a data. And this was it keeps the program running. And this printf, before I come to this printf, this break is basically used to terminate a loop. So if the user press 1, it will display this: how many books were borrowed. So if the user press 2, how many it will display this: how many books have been submitted. Before I move to the next one, so if the user print this, it won't print this back because of this break. And this break is basically like a system pause. So if the user input 2, it won't print 1 again. So if the user input 3, it will print this, it will display this, to display this because of this break. So it will display this again. So if the user input 4, it will display this. If the user input 5, it will display this. And this else statement basically means if the user enter an invalid choice, the program prints an error message. That's basically this means. And this attempt one means this increase the number of attempts by 1. So that's why I brought 1 over here. Thank you.
Online library management system. It it gives the user the chance to select from 4 different options, which are request book, use, register user, view book, and exit. So when the user selects request book, which is option 1, it should come here and execute this code. It should print onto the screen of the user, enter book ID, title, and author. So when the user enters the book ID, the title, and the author, then it should take it in, scanner it should take it in, then print onto the book ID, title, and author has been added successfully. Meanwhile, if the user decides to select true, then it should come to this next step and execute this code. It should display to the user's screen, enter index number and name. So when the user enters his index number and name, it should take it in, then print it back onto the user screen and add has been registered successfully. If the user also decides to select the third one, which is view books, it should it should display to the user on his screen or her screen available books. Then to the next line, select your choice. Then to the next line, then it prints out the books from 1 to 9 as follows. And when the user selects an option from 1 to 9, it should take it in and print out enjoy reading. But when the user selects an option out of 9 like 10 or something else, it should print invalid book choice. If the user selects something else again, it should print out invalid choice. Yeah. So with this, I'll run my code. We'll run our code, then we'll see what displayed on the screen. So we just practice it here. Welcome to the 13th Library Manager. do you want to access? So we are accessing the online library. So here we have our steps, which has been displayed to I, the user. Here I'm the user. So request book, register user, view. Then, okay, let's say I'm requesting a book. So enter the ID. I've entered any number just to make things easy. Enter this, and author, entering this. Yeah. So you see it has taken in the details I've entered, then it has been added to your request list. You want to start again, so we are starting afresh. To access the other options, so 1, enter. So let's say we are viewing the book, view book. So here we have it, available books. Select your choice. Then this is the book 1 from, so we are selecting book 2. It gives us enjoy reading. Do you want to start again? Yes. So come 1. Then we select 3, view books. Then here we are going to enter 10 to see what will happen. So it comes here, invalid book choice. Do you want to start fresh again? Start again. Then 1, then 3. Z. Then we enter T. Enter. You see, invalid book choice. So it's still telling us that the choice we've entered is invalid. That's all what our online library entails and the whole of our library entails. So we can start. Thank you very much. So here we come to an end of our code. We are done with everything. This is our conclusion. Thank you very much. I'm much grateful.